here from Bitrefill. So Thomas, just in like a few quick words, if you would like to introduce yourself to the audience, that would be really, really interesting.
Yeah, well, first I want to say thank you so much for having me on, and thanks to everyone who's watching. Love watching your content. All the kind of journeys that you're going through with crypto and AI are super fun and exciting. A little bit about me. I'm the head of customer happiness at Bitrefill. Been at Bitrefill for over 5 years, and ultimately, well, what I'm trying to do as the head of customer happiness is making sure that we're building the tools that let people use crypto as actual money, and doing the right thing from both a UI, UX standpoint, and always listening to what people actually want and need.
Very, very interesting. And we've already checked out Bitrefill on this live stream before when we were checking out Mezzo as a platform. And we've already seen the use case. Like I remember like I used you guys to like buy prepaid vouchers for my phone bill. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is amazing. And the best part is that you don't even need to like sign up to like a long list of verification, wait for it to go through. It's pretty instant, right? Which is very, very interesting for us. So I think that's something like you guys have like deliberately thought out very well on the user experience side.
Yeah, well, and that's actually one of the reasons that I came to Bitrefill too was, a lot of people think of crypto as like this weird internet money, not quite sure what to do with, but for something to be money, you need to be able to actually spend, earn, and save in it. I feel like on the DeFi side, we have earn and save like more or less figured out, or at least there's like protocols and adoption going on, but that spending part is I think one of the biggest barriers for people to understand that they actually can use crypto as your bank, as your open, fair financial system that is open and fair for everyone. And that's one of the things that led me to Bitrefill over 5 years ago too.
Very, very interesting. You've been doing this for like 5 years, which is like longer than most crypto startups have been alive, by the way. So that's an achievement in and of itself. And you guys are probably like very well plugged in into like most providers. Uh, I have a question, which is like, why go the voucher route? Like, what is the thesis behind Bitrefill for anybody who's like just watching this, and they want to understand what Bitrefill does? How can they either A, use it as a user, or B, plug it into their own protocol as well?
Yeah. So ultimately, the mission at Bitrefill is to make it easy for people to live on crypto. That's like our core mission, and actually, Bitrefill's been around since 2014. So I haven't even been at Bitrefill for half of it. It actually started as just three co-founders, Sergey, Michael, and Michelle. They were looking, at that time in 20, when this was a twinkle in their eye, 2013, 2012, and coming into 2014, there was really only Bitcoin. And they were like, Bitcoin's cool, but you need to be able to actually use it on something. So based off of all their backgrounds, the reason it's called Bitrefill is we started off as mobile refills only. But one of the things is then although in a lot of countries, prepaid data plans or prepaid phone plans are, the majority of the market. There's a ton of markets like the US where that is a minority of what you're able to do. So so finding the intersection of people that actually want to spend their crypto and phone and, refill their phone, like top up their phone plan. It was big, but not like extensively big. And one of the things that's always been core to our mission is to make sure that we can do this in a way where it isn't like a centralized exchange where you're required to open an account, you're required to submit every single government document and proof of address just to do something as simple as spend your crypto. And that's one reason why they were looking at mobile refills, or top-up plans. And that led us into something that's actually very similar to that of gift cards and electronic vouchers online, where actually the regulations are very well established around that. Gift cards and e-vouchers have been around for decades. And that was something that they saw of like, hey, if you can go into a convenience store and buy a gift card to your to Amazon or whatever it is, or your local restaurant, why wouldn't you be able to more or less go into a digital crypto store and buy that yourself with what we deem as being cash of crypto. So that led to, after several years of being only focused on mobile refills, that led us to gift cards, and I believe only after like 8 months or so after launching gift cards as an experiment, that totally overtook the volume that we have. That totally overtook the refill volume. And I guess just for like a little perspective in terms of like the amount of people that actually want to spend their crypto, we've had over 1 million customers since 2014. So we can kind of look at that and say there actually is a pretty big need for people to be able to want to live on crypto, and again, use this magical internet money as real money on that front. So that's been kind of the journey of what most people see. But some of the other things that we've launched, like we did launch Bill Pay for the U.S. Ran into some barriers for that, but hopefully that's going to be coming back soon for our users at some point here. We still have Bill Pay for a few Latin American countries like El Salvador, and then some again, and just trying to always listen to our users. One thing that we found was that there's a lot of regions where, like in the U.S., Canada, Mexico, Australia, UK, and India actually has a pretty robust gift card system as well too. There's a lot where the infrastructure is not there, and so that's why we also, at least for our EU customers, where there were a lot of kind of missing gaps in what people wanted to spend, launching a crypto debit card for those users, and then just kind of the evolution of mobile plans of, not very many people are walking into a store anymore buying a prepaid SIM card to insert into their phone. Most people are, buying their phone and saying, hey, it's going to be an eSIM. So that's, essentially our current service line. And again, we just kind of, we always just want to go where what our customers need to spend money on in order to just straight up live their lives. And so, yes, that's been the kind of the journey and evolution of Bitrefill over the last, what is that, 12 some odd years now. So, yeah.
That's a long story, and
Yeah.
completely. I would also say that the way you guys have evolved over the years, because I think what started off in like 10 years ago or like 12 years ago was not what it is today. So you guys would have had like multiple ideas where you had to like make very strategic decisions. And recently, I think the big elephant in the room for all crypto stuff, I think for tech in general, has been like AI, right? How are you guys
Yes.
thinking about that at Bitrefill? Because I think that's definitely been a paradigm shift. It's not a fad, it's here to stay. I think it has achieved that critical velocity. Probably people that are not on Twitter maybe do not talk about it as passionately as we do, but we kind of see what's coming ahead of the curve. And it's not going to be long before it takes over Instagram and TikTok and everything else as well.
Yeah. I mean, like you hit the nail on the head of like AI is, a lot of what, like in terms of adoption, what we know is going to happen and experimentation is kind of where crypto was pre DeFi, right? Where it's like, okay, we have this really cool thing that people can do. And we're not quite sure exactly what people are going to do and use it on. I mean, even in just watching your videos and seeing like how you've been able to leverage AI for building a business online, or building out new home pages and different experiments that you've done, or just like, hey, this is you don't have to be a super tech savvy person to really leverage AI to make your life better. We for us, we view AI for two different things. One of how that can make our customers experience a lot better, just internally from our own process and things like that. So, one thing that we've done, pretty much every single department at Bitrefill, every single function has really taken a deep dive into AI for the last, I would say, probably going on 4 years now, of how can we always, from like the customer support team, how can we make sure that we're leveraging AI, still using humans, because ultimately at the end of the day, we find a lot of people from just a trust and making sure that there's an understanding, and you don't want anyone to get caught in that like AI chatbot doom loop in support or anything like that. But being able to do that so that way we can provide a faster experience, make sure that redemption instructions or product details are staying super up to date rather than a bunch of manual things. But then externally for our customers, we do think that agents are going to build the carts for people. And hopefully for like, for example, for us, we're by both one and necessity needing to do a little bit of work on the house of like, hey, it'd be great to just dump this into our favorite agent for the home remodel, so that way it can look at all the things online, say, hey, this is what you need to get for your kitchen, and build out all that purchase order for you. But then kind of completing that last mile of hey, it's cool you did all this research for me. Can you actually just make my life easy? Which is kind of generally a theme at Bitrefill. What would this look like if it was easy? And be able to make that payment. And one thing that we do see, we do think that a lot of people will be using your standard like Stripe APIs and debit cards and things like that. But even recently there was a poll of what payment method would an agent want to prefer. And I believe that the polling was overwhelmingly towards crypto. And so we want to make sure that we have those payment rails for crypto. I would say that like traditional debit cards and traditional payment like traditional banking rails, they were built to prevent the bots from using it, prevent the agents from using it, versus gift cards are almost as close as you get to are pretty adjacent to as close as digital cash can be for internet payments. If you give your agent permission to spend a certain amount from your crypto wallet for credit on Home Depot for your home remodel, it can proceed through that checkout at Home Depot without needing to encounter your traditional banking rails that might stop your agent from actually making that payment. So I think that for us to have effective agentic commerce, we need to make sure that that is permissionless for them. Things like standard stable coins and stuff like that. That's great and permissionless, but also it's probably pretty terrifying to give your to give your agent like access to your entire stablecoin balance or anything along those lines. And in the same way, those things that you want to buy, those merchants aren't accepting stable coins, right? So we kind of view what we've built at Bitrefill as being that gap in permissionless finance for both people and agents.
And in terms of like using it in like your own workflows, is this something you guys are starting to implement within your own company when it comes to like just increasing in productivity and stuff like that? Has this been like a conversation internally with you guys?
Yeah, I think that for us, and I can share some documentation with you afterwards. It's been a major focus for everyone, every section of the company, of how can we make sure that that payments are easy for agents. Because also, if you make payments easy for agents, they'll ultimately be easy for humans as well too. So you're not building for two different segments. You're building to make life easy for people. And so there's a bunch of things that we do have where agents are able to actually make payments over the Bitcoin Lightning Network and receive gift cards. We also do have ways that people can integrate directly into different NPC servers and things like that, to be able to access gift card payments for their agents, so that way they can actually purchase those groceries, those things that you need for the home for your home from Walmart, Amazon, and different places like that. And yeah, so we're trying to take a pretty multifaceted approach, both on like what those agents are going to want to pay with, and what they will be able to pay with, whether that's Bitcoin with Lightning, stablecoin payments, your favorite L1 or L2, or anything like that. But ultimately, we want to make sure. Yeah, I think that everyone has been frustrated at a certain point in their AI interaction when you get stuck, right? And so, and I think that people have seen this with. I think that people have seen this with agentic payments, where all of a sudden it's like, no, your Wells Fargo debit card will not work for your agent to be able to access to, won't be able to complete that for you. But versus, again, a debit card where you can get to being as close to digital cash online for that particular merchant, has been pretty successful. And we, right now, most of the vast majority, 99% of our customers are still humans. But I think that we can all generally, the crypto audience is early adopters, right? Like we're still pretty early, and so I think that having those tools in place for when people feel comfortable with agent payments and things like that. I think that we already do have a pretty good tool set for people to use, and that's something that our developer team is constantly working on to make sure that we stay ahead of the curve for standards or the ways that people will want to enable agentic payments.
And I think like the best part I think is that it's not fundamentally changing what is happening and from like a purpose level, right? Before you were interacting directly with humans, now you'll be interacting with agents when it comes to your payments, right? But the fundamental desire is still the same. You see something you wanted, you have the resources to get it, and that now it's just a UX problem, right, that you guys try to solve. And also like getting it in a decentralized manner, right? In a way that you guys have like full control. And I believe you guys would be looking into like OpenClaw and a couple of these integrations as well, right? And pretty much sure that everything that you guys have been doing has really 10x your workflows accordingly. If I ask you like, what do you think you're like really excited for? You can also give me like mass adoption examples as well. But anything that you would be really excited for this agentic future, in your opinion, that you think that okay, yeah, if we reach this level, I think we are going to see some very interesting things happen.
Yeah, I think that I think that you asked a question where I get excited about a lot of things on that front, whether it's what Bitrefill is doing or what's just happening in crypto in general. But I think that something that a few of the things that I'm excited about, and something that I've always appreciated about Bitrefill and the way that we try to conduct things is having that spending relationship as close to the merchant as possible, which is again where we see gift cards as some people think like some people are like, oh no, it's so much easier just to tap to pay, use my Apple Pay or anything like that at checkout. And I'm not saying that that isn't easy, but gift cards aren't that hard. And I think that some of the benefits of it are when you do have that direct relationship with the merchant, the amount of privacy. Not that you're trying to hide anything, but just when you are, swiping your debit card from Chase or something like that, or it's a crypto debit card enabled by the sponsor bank. There's 4 to 5 parties involved in that transaction who ultimately will are incentivized to either sell your information to a data broker or share that information internally to try to cross sell you something. Versus when you or your agent is paying for a grocery delivery on Instacart, like not only are you keeping the privacy of your wallet on there, the only thing that Instacart knows is that you're trying to order your groceries from your favorite from your favorite local grocery store, right? So I think that like on-chain privacy, I think is probably one of the things I'm the most excited about because I think it is critical for adoption. One reason we all use or not we all, but most of the world uses traditional banking rails is because when you're getting a direct deposit from your employer, no one's like, yeah, your bank knows how much you're getting paid, your employer knows how much you're getting paid, but every single time you swipe a card, that's not being broadcasted to the entire world. Unfortunately, that's not how it works for a lot of crypto cards now. And I like that's not to say that I don't think that crypto cards are a great innovation. Like I said, we even have our own crypto card, but where I think that I'm excited is to make sure that we do have enough privacy tools in place, or like not even privacy, more like data security tools in place, so that way your spending and your relationships are not exposing everything in the world about you when you're trying to make those. Because if if it was being broadcast every single time you're trying to make a payment, whether that's directly from your wallet or from a crypto card, and it was showing how you earned your money, how much you're getting paid from your employer, you'd probably be a little freaked out and wouldn't want to spend anything from that crypto wallet. So I think that making sure that we have the tools to do things privately online is critical for getting people to adopt crypto, and debank themselves, and kind of opt out of traditional rails, and kind of, or not kind of, but to opt into this system that again, excites me every single day, because I feel like it's the innovations of it being fair and open to everyone, and that being able to spend permissionless, in a permissionless fashion, is critical, right? And is actually innovation of not just repeating the sins of the past on chain, instead actually having some level of improvement.
I love that. Like, not repeating sins of the past is a very interesting way to put it. Thomas, you've been a great guest. And before you go, I have like one last question that I really want to ask you, which is like, if there is somebody, and for I know we did not discuss like a background, but basically Thomas actually comes from a wine industry background, which was super cool. Like, first person apart from Gary Vaynerchuk that I'm actually seeing in front of me from that business. It's a very quiet money business. So I would say that, anybody who's probably in like a very different field, like a radically different field, and they're seeing crypto, they're seeing AI, they're thinking, well, I don't have a degree in that, or like I'm not qualified for something like this. What would you say to somebody like that who's still probably watching this video?
Yeah. So I guess just small, trying to be brief. You can probably tell that's not in my nature necessarily, on the clear, like concise statements on that one. But yeah, for over 10 years before coming to Bitrefill, I was working in the wine industry in California. Um, One of the things that we were trying to we have two big banking problems, when it comes to the wine, or we have more than two, but there's two major ones that we were trying to solve at our company after evolving for a few years. One was international payments for imports, exports. When you start making international payments, you really understand like the flaws in the banking system and kind of how terrible it is. The second was, in the California wine industry, at least, and I'm pretty sure this is globally as well too, is that a lot of your workers don't have access to, either they're unbanked or underbanked, which then leads to a lot of financial predatory practices. It creates a giant friction if they're trying to send some money back to their family, that might be in a different country or anything along those lines. Which is that's how I came to crypto, and trying to solve that for some of the people that we were working with. And that's actually how I came to Bitrefill too. It just, it's great to be able to pay people, but then, again, back to the original point, if they want to be able to actually spend money. And so, one thing I would say is, if and you can probably see this, I'm pretty sure that Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase has actually given a pretty good interview about this. Of one of their first heads of customer support was actually a lumberjack, and they hired him because he was just a smart, super passionate guy. That that, like, someone always wanting to be a lifelong learner, and someone showing passion for your company's mission, is generally always going to be a great hire. I can say, like, at least on our operations team, between compliance, support, commerce, and different functions like that we do. I'm never looking for that person's crypto experience. Crypto experience is nice, but them being like, if they're a customer service person, them being a clear communicator and being passionate about coming in and solving customer issues every day, is always going to be a hands down winner, over someone that's there, that is like, oh, crypto's cool, and I see this customer support job as a way for me to get into crypto. So I would say, like, your work experience is, it is important on a resume, right? It helps get you in the door, but your passion and your ability to learn and your ability to adapt, are, always way more important in the hiring rubric that I think about, when we're making hiring decisions at Bitrefill. So, and generally, if any of my team's listening to this, you guys know I love you guys. So, and I think that we've made some great hires, and yeah, I can. There's only a handful of people in the many people that we have hired who actually are coming from a crypto company. And I think that everyone should take that as words of encouragement. Of, if you show passion in this, and you're always willing to learn and experiment, just in the way that you're learning, experimenting with AI, you're always going to be an asset for a company or a project.
Thomas, thank you so much, man, for coming to the stream. It was really a pleasure having you.